I remember when I was a child, I must have seen Garbo in Camille at least 5 or 6 times. And each time, I sincerely believed she would not die of consumption. I'd sit in the theater, breathless with hope and expectation. Each time I was disappointed, but each time I promised myself that I would return in search of a happy ending, because I believed in the existence of an alternate last reel. Locked away in some forgotten vault in Hollywood, Greta Garbo survived consumption, oncoming trains, and firing squads every time. I still want to believe in alternate reels. I still want to believe that somehow, some way, there is a happy ending for every story, and it just depends on how thoroughly you look for it and how deeply you need it. The baby was discovered in the waste paper basket with the umbilical cord knotted around its neck. The mother was found unconscious by the door to her room, suffering from excessive loss of blood. She was indicted for manslaughter, brought to trial, and her case was assigned to me, Dr. Martha Livingston, as court psychiatrist, to determine whether she was legally sane. Oh, God, I wanted to help this young woman. Believe me.
Dr. Livingston. Dr. Livingston, I presume. I am Mother Miriam Ruth. I'm in charge of the convent where Sister Agnes is living. You don't have to call me Mother if you don't want to. Most people find it uncomfortable. I'm afraid that nowadays the word brings up very unpleasant connotations. Or it forces a familiarity that some are not willing to accept right off the bat. So you may call me Sister.
Thank you.
I've brought Sister Agnes for her appointment. They're allowing her to stay at the convent.
Yes.
At least until the trial.
I know.
And I wanted to offer my help.
Thank you, Sister. I've not even met Sister Agnes yet, but if there's anything unclear after I speak to her, I'll be more than happy to take
Well,
advantage.
you must have tons of questions.
I do, but I must ask them of Sister Agnes.
Oh, she can't help you there.
What do you mean?
She's blocked it out. She's forgotten it. I'm the only one who can answer those questions.
How well do you know her?
Oh, I know Sister Agnes very well. You see, we're a contemplative order, not a teaching one. Our ranks are quite small. The sisters chose me as their Mother Superior nearly 4 years ago, just prior to her coming to us. So I think I'm more than qualified to answer any questions you might have. Would you mind not smoking?
I'm terribly sorry. I should have asked if it bothered you.
You never offer an alcoholic a drink, isn't that what they say?
Well, you were a smoker?
2 packs a day.
Don't worry, Sister. I can beat that.
Lucky strikes. My sister used to say, one of the few things to believe in this crazy world is the honesty of unfiltered cigarette smokers.
You have a smart sister.
If you have questions, fire away.
Who knew Sister Agnes's pregnancy?
No one.
How did she hide it from the other nuns?
She undressed alone. She bathed alone.
That's normal.
Yes.
But how did she hide it during the day?
She could have hidden the machine gun in here if she
And she had no physical examination during this time?
We're examined once a year. Her pregnancy fell in between our doctor's visits.
Well, who found the baby?
I did. I'd given Sister Agnes permission to retire early that night. She wasn't feeling very well. I went to her room.
Oh, do the nuns have separate rooms?
Yes. And I found her unconscious by the door. I tried to revive her. When I couldn't, I had one of the other sisters call for an ambulance. It was then that I found the waste paper basket.
You found it?
Yes, it was hidden against the wall under the bed.
Why did you think to look there?
I was cleaning. There was a lot of blood.
Were you alone?
No. Another sister, Sister Margaret, was with me. It was she who called the police.
Did you find any diaries or letters?
I don't understand.
Something that could clue you into the identity of the father.
Oh, I see. No, I found nothing.
Who could it have been?
I haven't a clue.
But what men had access to her?
No men, so far as I know.
Was there a doctor?
Yeah.
A man?
Yes, but I told you she never even saw him.
Oh, was there a priest?
Yes.
What's his name?
Father Marshall. But I don't see him as a candidate. He's very shy.
Could there have been anyone else?
Obviously there was.
Sister, why didn't you care to find out who?
Oh, believe me, I cared very much at the time. I did everything short of asking Agnes.
Why didn't you ask Agnes?
If she doesn't even remember the birth, do you think she'd admit to the conception? Besides, I really don't see what all this has to do with her.
Come on, sister.
The important fact is that somebody gave her that baby, Doctor. That we know. But that was some 12 months ago. I fail to see how the identity of that somebody has anything to do with this trial.
Why would you think that?
Oh, don't ask me the questions. I'm not the patient.
But I'm the doctor, and I'm the person who must decide what is or is not important here.
Yes.
Sister, why are you avoiding my question?
I'm not avoiding
Who was the
anything.
father?
I don't know.
Would you send Sister Agnes in now, please?
Doctor, I don't know how to say this politely, but I don't approve of you. Not you personally.
The science of psychiatry.
Yes, and I want you to deal with Agnes as speedily and as easily as possible. She's a fragile person. She won't hold up under any sort of cross-examination.
Sister, I'm not with the Inquisition.
And I'm not from the Middle Ages. I know what you are. You're a surgeon. I don't want that mind cut open.
But is there something in there you don't want me to see?
I want you to be careful.
And quick.
Yes.
Why?
Because Agnes is different.
From other nuns? Yes, I can see that.
No, I mean from other people. She's special.
What do you mean?
She's gifted. She's blessed.
In what way?
There. She sings like an angel.
Does she often sing alone?
Always. She's embarrassed to sing in front of others.
Who taught her?
I don't know. When I first heard her sing, I was thrilled. And I couldn't connect that voice with the simple, happy child I knew. And she was happy, Doctor. But that voice, it belongs to someone else.
Would you send her in now, please?
You will be careful, won't you?
Sister, I am always careful.
May I stay?
No.
No. I'll send her in.
A lynching mob was brought before a judge. He accused them of hanging a man without a fair and objective trial. But, Your Honor, said the leader, we listened very fairly and objectively to every word he had to say. Then we hung the son of a bitch. I wanted to maintain my objectivity. I mean, Mother Mary Ruth would not believe that, of course. And there was no way she could have known about Marie. She just suspected something. See, Marie was my younger sister who decided she had a vocation to the convent at the age of 15. My mother sent her off without a second thought. And I never saw her again. I received this message late one night. Marie had died from acute and unattended appendicitis because her Mother Superior did not see fit to send her to a hospital. So no. No, I suppose at heart I could not be very objective, could I? But I tried. God, I tried. I could still remember waiting to view Marie's body. And there we were, just sitting in this tiny convent room, staring at these spotless walls and floors, and thinking, my God, what a metaphor for their minds. And it was then I realized. My religion, my Christ, it is the mind. Everything I do not understand in this world is contained in these few cubic inches. Within this shell of skin and bone and blood, we hold the secrets to absolutely everything. When I see a tree, I think, how wonderful. I have created something so green. But God isn't out there. He's here. God is you. Or rather, you are God. Mother Miriam Ruth would not accept that. That woman reminded me so much of my own mother. But as for Agnes, just hearing her voice.
Hello?
Hello, Agnes. I'm Dr. Livingston, and I've been asked to talk to you. May I?
Yes.
But you have a lovely voice.
No, I don't.
I just heard you.
That wasn't me.
Was it my receptionist? You saw her. She's that tall woman with the purple hair. She looks like an ostrich. All right, it's not nice to say, but she does, doesn't she?
Yes.
I mean, I hope it wasn't her singing. She sang one time, broke a patient's eyeglasses. You're very pretty.
No, I'm not.
Hasn't anyone ever told you that before?
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you right now. You're very pretty, and you have a lovely voice.
Let's talk about something else.
What would you like to talk about?
I don't know.
Anything, first thing comes to your mind.
God. But there's nothing to say about God.
Second thing that comes to your mind.
Love?
Why love?
I don't know.
Have you ever loved anyone?
God.
I meant, have you ever loved anyone human?
Yes.
Who?
Everyone.
Anyone in particular?
Right now? Sure. I love you.
But Agnes, have you ever loved a man other than Jesus Christ?
Yes.
Who?
Oh, there are so many.
Do you love Father Marshall?
Yes.
Do you think he loves you?
I know he does.
Has he told you so?
Oh, no. But when I look into his eyes, I can see.
You're alone together?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
At least once a week.
Do you like this?
Oh, yes.
Where do you meet?
In the confessional.
Do you ever meet Father Marshall outside the confessional?
You want to talk about the baby, don't you?
Do you want to talk about the baby?
I never saw any baby. I think they made it up.
Who?
The police.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Agnes, do you remember the night they said that it came?
No, I was sick.
Sick how?
Something I ate.
Did it hurt?
Yes.
Where?
Down there.
What did you do?
I went to my room.
And then?
I got sicker.
But what happened?
I fell asleep.
In the middle of all that pain?
Yes.
Agnes, where did that baby come from?
What baby?
The one they made up.
From their heads.
Is that where they said that it came from?
No. They said it came from the waste paper basket.
Where did it come from before the waste paper basket?
From God.
After God, before the waste paper basket.
I don't understand.
Agnes, where do babies come from?
Don't you know?
I was sort of hoping you would tell me where you think babies come from.
I don't know what you're talking about. You want to talk about the baby. Everyone wants to talk about the baby, but I never saw the baby, so I can't talk about the baby because I don't believe in the baby.
Would you like to talk about something else?
No. I'm tired of talking. I have been talking for weeks, and no one believes me when I tell them anything. Nobody listens to me.
I will listen. That's my job.
But I don't want to have to answer any more questions.
How would you like to ask them?
What do you mean?
Just like that. You ask, I'll answer.
Anything?
Anything.
What's your real name?
Martha Louise Livingston.
Are you married?
No.
Would you like to be?
Not just at the moment, no.
Do you have children?
No.
Would you like some?
I can't have them anymore.
Why?
I've stopped menstruating.
Why do you smoke?
Oh. Does it bother you?
No questions.
Smoking, well, let's see. Smoking is an obsession with me. I started smoking when my mother died, and my mother was an obsession with me, so I suppose I'll stop smoking when I become obsessed with something else. I bet you're sorry you asked. Any more questions?
One.
What's
Where do you think babies come from?
their mothers and fathers, of course. Before that, I don't know.
Well, I think they come from when an angel lights on their mother's chest and whispers into her ear. That makes good babies start to grow. And then bad babies come from when a fallen angel squeezes in down there. And they grow till they come out down there. I don't know where good babies come out. And you can't tell the difference either, except that bad babies cry a lot. And they make their fathers go away, and their mothers get very ill and die sometimes. And Mommy wasn't very happy when she died. And I think she went to hell because every time I see her, she looks like she just stepped out of a hot shower. And I'm never sure if it's her or the lady who tells me things. They fight over me all the time. The lady I saw when I was 10, see, I was lying on the grass and I was looking at the sun, and then the sun became a cloud, and the cloud became the lady, and she said that she'd talk to me. But then her feet began to bleed, and I saw that there were holes in her hands and in her side, and so I tried to catch the blood as it fell from the sky. But I couldn't see anymore because my eyes hurt, because there are big black spots in front of them. And she tells me things. Right now she's crying Marie. Marie? I don't know what that means. And she uses me to sing. It's as if she is throwing this big hook through the air, and it catches me under my ribs and tries to pull me out. But I can't move because Mummy's holding onto my feet. And so all I can do is just sing in her voice. It's the lady's voice. God loves you. God loves
Agnes,
you.
do you know Mary?
No, do you?
Why? Should I?
I don't know.
Agnes, do you hear this voice other times when you were...
I don't want to talk anymore, all right? I just want to go home.
So, what do you think? Is she totally bananas? Or merely slightly off-center? Or maybe she's perfectly sane and just a very good liar. What have you decided?
I haven't yet. What about you?
Me?
You know her better than I do. What's your opinion?
Well, I believe that she's not crazy. Nor is she lying.
How could she have a child and know nothing of birth and sex?
Because she's an innocent. She's a slate that hasn't been touched except by God. There's no place for those facts in her mind.
Bullshit.
No. No, in her case it isn't. Her mother kept her at home almost all the time. She had very little schooling. I don't know how her mother avoided the authorities, but she did. And then when her mother died, Agnes came to us. But she's never been out there, Doctor. She's never seen a television show or a movie. She's never read a book.
If she is so innocent, how could she murder that child?
Oh, she didn't. This is manslaughter. It's not murder. She didn't consciously kill that baby. I don't know what you call it, whatever psychological medical jargon you people use, but she was not conscious at the time. That's why she's innocent. She honestly doesn't remember. She lost a lot of blood. She passed out.
You want me to believe she strangled the baby, stuffed it into the wastepaper basket, crawled to the door all in some kind of mystical trance?
Well, I don't care what you believe. You're her psychiatrist, not her jury. You're not determining her guilt.
Was there ever any question of that?
What do you mean?
Could someone else have killed the child?
Not in the eyes of the police.
All right, then, in your eyes.
I've told you what I believe.
That she was unconscious at the time, so someone else could easily have slipped into the room and done
You
it.
don't honestly think that.
Possible.
Who?
Perhaps one of the other nuns discovered she was pregnant, wanted to avoid a scandal.
Well, that's absurd.
But the possibility never occurred to you.
No one knew about Agnes's pregnancy. No one. Not even Agnes.
How did you first discover this innocence of hers, the way she thinks?
It was a short while after she came to it.
You weren't shocked.
I was appalled, just as you are. You get used to it.
What happened?
She stopped eating completely.
And this was before the
A
pregnancy.
couple of years before.
How long did it go on?
I don't know. I think it was almost 2 weeks before it was reported to me.
Well, why did she do it?
She refused to explain at first. She was brought before me. It sounds like a tribunal, doesn't it? And when we were alone, she confessed.
Well,
She said she'd been commanded by God. He spoke to you himself
No.
through someone else?
Yes.
Who?
I can't say.
Why?
Should punish me?
One of the sisters?
No.
Who? Why would she tell you to do this?
I don't know.
Why do you think?
Because I'm getting fat.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I am. There's too much flesh on me.
Agnes.
I am a blimp.
Why does it matter whether you're fat or not?
Because.
You needn't worry about being attractive here.
Yes, I do. I have to be attractive to God.
He loves you as you are.
No, he doesn't. He hates fat people.
Who told you this?
It's a sin to be fat.
Why?
Well, look at all the statues. They're thin.
Agnes.
And that's because they're suffering, and suffering's beautiful, and I want to be beautiful.
Who tells you these things?
Christ said it in the Bible. He said, "Suffer the little children, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." I want to suffer like a little child, Mother.
That's not what he meant.
I am a little child. But my body keeps getting bigger, and I don't want it to get bigger because then I won't be able to fit in, and I won't be able to squeeze into heaven.
Agnes, dear, heaven is not a place with bars and
Now,
windows.
look at these. See, I've got to lose weight.
Oh, my dear child.
Look at this. I am a blimp. If God blew up the Hindenburg, he'll blow up me. That's what she said.
Who said?
Mommy, I'll get fatter and fatter every day, and then I'll pop. But if I stay little, it won't happen.
Your mother tells you this. Agnes, dear, your mother is dead.
But she watches and she listens.
Nonsense. I'm your mother now, and I want you to eat.
But I'm not hungry.
You have to eat something, Agnes.
No, I don't. The host is enough.
My dear, I don't think the communion wafer has the recommended daily allowance of anything.
Of God.
Oh, yes, of God.
What does that word mean, God?
Begot. You don't know?
God's my father?
Only spiritually. But you don't know what that means. Begot.
God. That's what she calls it. I don't understand it. If she says it means when God presents us to our mothers in bundles of 8 pounds, 6 ounces.
Oh, my dear.
I have to be 8 pounds again, Mother.
You'd even drop the 6 ounces. Come here. Now, what's wrong?
I'm being punished.
For what?
I don't know.
How? What happened? Oh. Dear Jesus. Oh, dear Jesus.
It started this morning, and I can't get it to stop. Why me, Mother? Why me?
How long did it last?
It was gone by the following morning.
Did it ever come back?
Not that I know of, no.
Why didn't you send it to a hospital?
I didn't see the need. She started eating again.
And you thought that's all there was to it, just get a little food down and she'll be all better?
No, of course not. You see, I know what you're thinking. That she's an hysteric, pure and simple.
Not simple, no.
I saw it. Clean through the palm of her hand. Do you think hysteria did that?
Has been doing it for centuries, sister. She's not unique. She's just another victim.
Yes, she's God's victim. That's her innocence. She belongs to God.
Well, I mean to take her away from him. That's what you fear.
You bet I do.
I prefer to think of it as just opening up her mind.
To the world?
No, to herself, so that she can begin to heal.
But that's not your job, is it? You're here to diagnose, not to heal.
That's a matter of opinion.
That's the judge's opinion.
It's your opinion. My job is to help Agnes in any way I see fit. That's my duty as a doctor.
But not as an employee of the court. You're to make a decision on her sanity as quickly as possible. You are not to interfere with due process of law. Those are the judge's words, not mine.
As quickly as I see fit. Not as possible, and I have not made that decision yet.
Well, the kindest thing you can do for Agnes is to make that decision and let her go.
Back to court?
Yes.
If I say she's crazy, she goes to an institution. If I say she's sane, she goes to prison.
Temporary insanity, then.
In all good conscience? You want me to go before a court and say a child who sees bleeding women at the age of 10 and 11 years later strangles a baby is temporarily insane? It's a little more complicated than that.
The longer you take to make the decision, the more difficult it will be for Agnes.
Why?
Because the world is a very damaging experience for someone who hasn't seen it in 21
The
years.
sooner she's in prison, the better off she'll be.
I'm hoping that whatever her sentence, the judge will allow her to return to the convent and serve her time in penance there.
Well, we'll see about that.
You wouldn't allow her to return to the convent.
I would not allow her to return to the source of her problem, no.
Your decision has nothing to do with
My
where she serves.
recommendation has everything to do with everything.
Then you'd send her to prison.
If I thought she was guilty of a premeditated crime, yes, I would.
Or an asylum.
If I thought it would help her.
It would kill her.
I doubt that.
I'm fighting for this woman's life, not her temporal innocence.
Were you fighting for her life when you refused to send her to a medical doctor?
What?
She had a hole in the palm of her hand. She could have bled to death. You didn't send her to a hospital. The child could have died because of some
But she didn't die, did she? If anyone else had seen what I had seen, she'd be public property now in the newspapers, in psychiatrists, in ridicule. She doesn't deserve that.
She has it now.
Yes, she does.
We would get into terrible arguments, my mother and I. I remember once I was 12 or 13. I told her that God was a moronic fairy tale. I spent the entire night putting those words together. She said, "How dare you speak to me that way," as if she were the slandered party. Shortly after Marie died, I became engaged for a very short period of time to this very romantic Frenchman whom my mother despised and whom consequently I adored. We screamed ourselves hoarse many a night over that man. And oh God, that man, oh. You know, it's funny. I hadn't thought of him in years. I hadn't seen him since I left Pardonnez-moi, Maurice. Since he left me. When finally I became pregnant, I could not exactly see myself as my mother, Maurice did. Oh, once. I mean, it was in Mama's last year. She was not altogether lucid. But in this burst of anger, I told her, God is dead. Do you know what the woman did? She fell down on her knees and prayed for his immortal soul. God love her. I wish we atheists had a set of words that meant as much as those three do. See, I was never a devout Catholic. My doubts about the faith began when I was 6, but when Marie died, I walked away from religion as fast as my mind would take me. Mama never forgave me, and I never forgave the church. But I learned to live with my anger. I forgot it. Until she walked into my office. And every time I saw her after that first lovely moment, I just became more and more entranced. Marie.
Yes, Doctor?
Agnes, tell me how you feel about babies.
I don't like them. They frighten me. I'm always afraid I'm going to drop them. 'Cause they're always growing, you know, and I'm afraid they'll grow too fast and wriggle right out of my arms. And they have a soft spot on top of their heads. Yeah. And if you drop them so that they land on their heads, they become stupid. That's where I was dropped.
Oh.
You see, I don't understand things.
Well, what things?
Numbers. I don't understand where they're all headed. You could spend your whole life counting and never reach the end.
Agnes, I don't understand them either. Do you think I was dropped on my head?
I hope not. It's a terrible thing. It's one of the great tragedies of life to be dropped on your head. And there are other things, too, not just numbers.
What other things?
Everything, sometimes. I wake up and I just can't get hold of the world. It won't stand still.
What do you do?
I talk to God. He doesn't frighten me.
Is that why you became a nun?
I suppose so. I just couldn't live without him.
Don't you think God works through other religions and other ways of life?
I don't know.
Couldn't I talk to him?
Well, you could try. I don't know if he'd listen to you.
Why not?
Because you don't listen to him.
Agnes, didn't you ever think of leaving the convent for something else?
No. Oh, no, there is nothing else. It makes me happy. Just being there helps me sleep at night.
You have trouble sleeping?
I get headaches. And Mummy did, too. She'd lie in the dark with a wet cloth over her face and tell me to go away. But she wasn't stupid. She was very smart. She knew everything. She even knew things that nobody else knew.
What things?
The future. See, she knew what was going to happen to me, and that's why she hid me away. And I didn't mind that because I didn't like school very much. But I liked being with Mummy. She'd tell me all sorts of things. Well, she told me that I would enter a convent, and I did. And she even knew about this.
This?
This.
Me?
This.
How did she know about this?
Somebody told her.
Who?
I don't know.
Agnes.
You'll laugh.
I promise you I won't laugh. Who told her?
An angel. When she was having one of her headaches before I was born.
Did your mother see angels often?
No, only when she had her headaches. Not even then, sometimes.
Did you ever see them?
No.
Agnes, do you believe she really saw them?
No. But I could never tell her that.
Why not?
Well, she'd get angry and she'd punish me.
How would she punish you?
She'd punish me.
Agnes, honey, did you love your mother?
Oh, yes.
Didn't you ever want to be a mother yourself?
No, I could never be a mother.
Why not?
I don't think I'm old enough. And besides, I don't want a baby.
Why not?
I just don't want one.
But if you did want one, I mean, if you did, how would you go about getting it?
I'd adopt it.
Where would the adopted baby come from?
From an agency.
Before the agency.
From someone who didn't want a baby.
Like you.
No, not like me.
Agnes, how would the someone get the baby if they didn't want it?
A mistake.
Honey, how did your mother get you?
A mistake. It was a mistake.
Is that what she told you?
You're trying to get me to say that she was a bad woman.
No.
And that she didn't want
No,
me and that
Agnes.
she hated me, but that isn't true. Because she did want me. Because she was a good woman. She was a saint and she did love me.
All right.
No, you don't want to hear the nice parts about her. All you are interested in is sickness.
Agnes, I simply cannot imagine you know nothing about sex.
I can't help it if I'm stupid.
You have no idea who the father of your child is?
They made it up.
No remembrance of your impregnation.
It's not my
You
fault.
don't even believe you carried a child.
It was a mistake.
What, the baby?
Everything. Nuns don't have children. No, don't touch me like that. Don't touch me like that. I know what you want from me. You want to take God away, and you should be ashamed. They should lock you up, people like you.
You hate us, don't you?
Wow!
Nuns. You hate
I don't know
nuns.
what you're talking about.
Catholicism, then.
I hate ignorance and stupidity.
And the Catholic Church.
I haven't said anything about the Catholic Church.
This is a human being you're dealing with, not an institution.
That institution might find itself with a thing or two.
Catholicism is not on trial here. I want you to treat Agnes without any religious prejudice. Or turn this case over to another psychiatrist.
How dare you walk into my office and tell me how to conduct my affairs?
It's my affair, too.
How dare you assume that I'm someone you can bully a badge or whatever the hell that is?
I'm only requesting that you be fair,
What
that's
do you
all.
think you are? You marching here. Do you expect applause for the way you've dealt with that child?
She's not a child.
She has a right to know there's a world filled with people that don't believe in God and aren't any worse off than you for it. There's a world filled with people who never bent their knee once to anyone or anything, and there are people who fall in love and to make babies and occasionally are very happy. She has a right to know that, but you and your order and your church, you've kept her in ignorance.
We could hardly
And
do
why?
that.
Because ignorance is next to virginity. I know that when ignorance, poverty, chastity, virginity is what you live by.
I am not a virgin, Doctor. I was married for 23 years. 2 daughters. I even have grandchildren. Surprised? It might please you to know I was a failure as a wife and a mother. Probably because I protected my children from nothing. It was out of the womb and into the big bad world. They won't see me anymore. That's their revenge. They're both devout atheists. I think they tell their friends I've passed on. Oh, don't tell me, Dr. Freud. I'm making up for past mistakes.
You can help her.
I am.
No, sister, you are shielding her. You've got to let her face the big bad world.
Meaning you?
All right, yes, if that's what you think, yes.
What good would it do? No matter what you decide, it's either the prison or the nut house. The differences between them are pretty slim.
There is another choice.
What's that?
Acquittal.
How?
Innocence. Legal innocence. See, I know that judge would be grateful for any reason to throw this case out of court.
What do you want?
Answers.
Ask.
When would Agnes have conceived that child?
About a year ago.
Can't you remember anything at all unusual happening around that time?
Earthquakes?
Visitors to the convent.
No, there was nothing. She was singing a lot then. She seemed perfect. Oh, dear God.
What?
Her sheets.
What about the sheets?
I should have known. Dear God, I should have suspected something.
What?
Her sheets. Her sheets had disappeared. One of the sisters complained to me about it, so I called her in. Sister Margaret tells me you've been sleeping on a bare mattress, sister. Is this true?
Yes, Mother.
Why?
In medieval days, nuns and monks would sleep in their coffins.
We're not in the Middle Ages, sister.
It made them holy.
It made them uncomfortable. If they didn't sleep well, I'm certain the next day they were cranky as mules.
Yes, Mother.
Sister, where are your sheets? Do you really believe that sleeping on a bare mattress is the equivalent of sleeping in a coffin?
No.
Then tell me, where are your sheets?
I burned them
Why?
because they were stained.
Sister, how many times have I drummed into your thick skull, in the thick skulls of all your fellow novices, that menstruation is a perfectly natural process and nothing to be ashamed of.
Yes, Mother.
Say it.
It is a perfectly natural process and nothing to be ashamed of.
Mean it.
It is a perfectly natural process and it is nothing to be ashamed.
A couple of years ago, one of our sisters came to me in tears, asking for comfort. She was crying because she was too old to have children. Not that she intended to, but once a month, she had been reminded of the possibility of motherhood. So dry your eyes, sister, and thank God he has filled you with that possibility.
But it's not that, Mother. It's not that.
What do you mean?
It's not my time of the month.
Should you see a doctor?
I don't know. I don't know what happened, Mother. I woke up and there was blood all over the sheets and I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did wrong and I don't know why I should be punished.
For what?
I don't know, Mother. I just don't know.
Sister.
I don't know.
Agnes.
I don't know, Mother. I don't know.
Sing something, will you, with me? What's your favorite? Virgin Mary had one son. Oh, oh, pretty little baby. Oh, 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 pretty little baby. Glory be to the newborn King. Some call him Jesus. I think I'll call him Savior. Oh, oh,
I think I'll call him Savior. Oh, 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 I think I'll call him Savior. Glory be to the newborn King.
I sent her to her room. She calmed down by then, said it was nothing, refused to see a doctor, but I should have known.
Known what?
That was the beginning. That was the night it happened. That's why she burned the sheets.
Can you remember anything else about that night?
I'm not certain what night it was.
Can't you find out?
I keep a day book at the
Check
convent.
it for anything at all unusual happening around the convent at that time. You know, sister, earthquakes and visitors.
I'll look in the day book.
A psychiatrist and a nun died and went to heaven. When they arrived at the pearly gates, they were met by St. Peter, who asked them to fill out an application form, which they did. Upon examining their papers, he said, "Aha! I see you were both born on the same day of the same year." "Yes," they said. "And that you have the same parents?" "Yes," they both said. "So, you must be sisters." The nun just smiled knowingly. It was the doctor who replied, "Oh, yes." And you must also then be twins, said the saint. Oh, no, they said. Same parents, same birthday, sisters but not twins. They both just smiled and nodded yes. I came across this riddle casually, coincidentally, on page 33 of an ancient issue of a defunct magazine. But by this time, I was convinced Agnes was innocent. Someone else had murdered that child. Now, who that person was, how I was going to prove it. Riddles of my own making, only I could solve. The only answer I could find was upside down on page 117. They were two of a set of triplets. My problem was twofold, huh? See, I wanted to free Agnes, legally prove her innocence. I wanted to make her well.
I'm not sick.
You are troubled, aren't you?
That's because you keep reminding me. If you go away, I'll forget.
Agnes, you're unhappy.
Everybody's unhappy.
Oh, no.
You're unhappy, aren't
That's
you?
not what we're
Aren't
talking-
you?
Sometimes.
But you think you're lucky because you didn't have a mother who said things to you or did things that maybe weren't always nice, but that's what you think.
Agnes,
Because you don't know that my mother was a wonderful person. And even if you did know it, you wouldn't believe it because you think she was bad, don't you?
That's not what
Answer
you're
me. You never answer
All right,
me.
yes, I think your mother was wrong
No,
sometimes.
that's because of me. That's because I was bad, not her.
What did you do?
I am always bad.
What do you do?
I breathe.
Agnes, what did your mother do to you? What? Oh. It's all right. Hey. Agnes, if you can't tell me, then just nod your head, yes or no, all right? I mean, did she hit you? Or did she make you do something you didn't want to do? Did it make you uncomfortable to do this? Did it embarrass you? Did it hurt you? Agnes, what did she do to you?
No,
Tell me.
I can't.
She's dead, isn't she?
Yes,
She can't hurt you anymore.
she can.
How?
She watches and she listens.
Agnes, I don't believe that, but I'm here and I will protect you from her. Just tell me, what did she do to you? What? What?
She makes me take off my clothes, and then she makes fun of me.
She tells you that you're ugly?
Yes,
And that you are stupid?
yes.
And that you are a mistake?
She says my whole body is a mistake.
Why?
Because she says that if I don't watch out, I'll have a baby.
How does she know that?
Her head aches, and then she touches me
Where?
down there with her cigarette. Oh, please don't touch me that way.
Agnes.
Please don't touch me. I'll be good.
Dr. Lynch,
I won't be a bad baby. I'll be good.
It'll be all right. It will. Be all right. Agnes, stand up. Right now. Come on, stand up. Agnes, I want you to do something right this minute. Pretend that I'm your mother. See, I know your mother's dead and you're all grown up. Just pretend that your mother has come back. I'm your mother. Only this time, you're just going to tell me what you're feeling, all right?
I'm scared.
I want to help you. Please, let me help you. And it's just pretend.
All right.
Just remember, I'm your mother. Agnes, you're ugly. Come on, what do you say?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, you do. Agnes, you're ugly. What do you say?
No, I'm not.
Are you pretty?
Yes.
Agnes, you're stupid.
No, I'm not.
Oh, are you intelligent?
Yes, I am.
Agnes, you're a mistake.
No, I am not a mistake. I'm here, aren't I? Then how can I be a mistake if I am really here? God doesn't make mistakes. You're a mistake, and I wish you were dead. I wish you were dead.
It's all right, it's all right. Good girl. Good girl. It's just pretend. All right. Agnes, I'm going to ask you to do something, but if you don't want to do it, you just tell me, all right?
What?
I want you to give me your permission to hypnotize you.
Why?
Well, there's some things you just can't tell me right now, and I think you could tell me under hypnosis.
Does Mother Miriam know about this?
Mother Miriam loves you very much, just as I love you very much. She wouldn't object.
Do you really love me? Or are you just saying that?
I really love you.
As much as Mother Miriam loves me?
As much as God loves you.
All right.
I've checked the day book.
You may go. What did you find?
What did you find?
A few facts about her mother.
Not exactly the healthiest of women, Weston. Of course, I can't speak for her mental health, but physically...
Did you know her?
We corresponded before her death.
How old was Agnes when her mother died?
17.
Why was she sent to you?
Her mother requested it.
Well, why wasn't she sent to the next of kin?
She was. Agnes's mother was my younger sister.
You lied to me.
About what?
You said you never laid eyes on Agnes until she walked into that convent.
I didn't. I was a good deal older than my sister. In fact, I was married before she was born. She was the proverbial black sheep. She ran away at an early age. We lost touch with her. Then when my husband died and I entered the convent, she started writing to me again. She told me about Agnes. She asked me to watch over her in case anything happened.
And Agnes's father?
Could have been any one of a dozen men from what my sister told me. She was afraid that Agnes would follow in her footsteps. She did everything to prevent that.
Like keeping her out of school?
Yes.
And listening to angels?
She drank too much. That's what killed her.
Would you like to know what she did to Agnes?
I don't have to
She
know.
molested her! Yes!
Dear Jesus. Oh, dear Jesus.
There's much more here than meets the eyes, and there are lots and lots of dirty little secrets. When you pull back the sheets, what do you find? A niece?
I didn't tell you because I didn't think it was important.
Makes you doubly responsible. After all, sister, blood runs thicker.
Had I known what Agnes was
You
suffering...
knew she was an alcoholic, and you knew she was keeping her out of school.
I knew that after the fact.
Why didn't you do anything to stop it?
Because I didn't know. And that's no answer, is it?
What did you find in the day book?
Agnes was sick on the Sunday before she told me about the sheets. So that if she burned them then, they must have become stained on that Saturday night. Unfortunately, on that night, one of our elder sisters passed away. I have no recollection of any visitors to the convent. I was needed in the sick room.
Was extreme unction given on that night?
Yes, of
then
course.
Father Marshall would have been
You can't
present.
believe that Father Marshall had anything
Somebody has to
do
be
with it.
responsible for that child. If it's not Father Marshall, then who?
No.
Never mind, I'll find out soon enough. I've gotten Agnes's permission to hypnotize her.
And my permission,
I don't think you have anything to say in the matter.
I'm her guardian.
She's 21 years of age. She doesn't need a
She
guardian.
must come to me first and ask permission.
This means you will deny it?
I haven't decided that yet.
This woman's health is at stake.
Her spiritual health.
Goddamn well, her spiritual health.
I know you don't.
Just sentence her and be done with it. That's what you're saying, and I won't do it.
What I'm saying is that you
have
have here a beautifully simple woman.
an unhappy woman.
But she was happy with us, and she would go on being happy if she were left alone.
And why did you call the police in the first place? Why didn't you just throw that baby down the incinerator and be done with it?
Because I'm a moral person, that's why.
Oh, shit.
Bullshit yourself.
The Catholic Church has no corner on morality, Mother.
Who said anything about the Catholic
You
Church?
right there. You.
What the hell does the Catholic Church have to do with you?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
What have we done to hurt you? And don't deny it. Oh, I can smell an ex-Catholic a mile away. So what did we do? Burn a few heretics? Sell some indulgences? Those were in the days when the church was a ruling body. We let governments do those things today.
Because you don't have the power you once
I
had.
am not interested in the church as power doctrine. I'm interested in it as simplicity and peace.
Oh, my God.
Precisely. Oh, my God. So, tell me, what do we do to you? You wanted to neck in the backseat of a car when you were 15, and you couldn't because it was a sin.
It wasn't sex.
So instead of questioning that one little rule,
It was a
you
lot
threw
of
the
other
whole
things, but
church.
it wasn't sex. Now, when I was in the first grade, my best friend was run over by a cement truck on her way to school. The nun said she died because she had not said her morning prayers.
Stupid woman.
Yeah.
That's all?
Oh! She was this beautiful little girl.
What's that got to do with it?
I wasn't. She was the pretty one, and she died. What about me? I hadn't said my morning prayers either. And I was ugly. And I don't mean plain, I mean ugly. I was fat. I had buck teeth. I had ears just like I do. I had freckles all over my face. To this day, I can still hear Sister Mary Cletus calling me Polka Dot Livingston.
So, you left the church because you had freckles?
I left the church. Yep. I left the church because I had freckles. And guess what?
What?
Also why I hate nuns. Oh, God, Jesus Christ! Oh! Why does her singing mean so much to you?
When I was a little girl, I used to speak with my guardian angel. I don't ask you to believe I heard loud, miraculous voices, but just as some children have imaginary playmates, I had angelic conversations. Like Agnes's mother, you might say, except I was a lot younger then, and I'm not Agnes's mother. Anyway, when I was 6, I stopped listening, and my angel stopped speaking. But just as a sailor remembers the sea, I remembered the voice, and I grew and fell in love. I was married and widowed and entered the convent. And shortly after I was made Mother Superior, I looked at myself one day and saw nothing but the survivor of an unhappy marriage, the mother of 2 angry children, and a nun who was certain of nothing, not of heaven, not even of God. And then one evening, while walking in a field beside the convent wall, I heard a voice, and I looked up. And I saw one of our new postulants standing in her window singing. It was Agnes. And she was beautiful. And all my doubts about myself and God vanished in that one moment. I recognized the voice. Don't take it away from me again, Doctor. The years after 6 were very bleak.
My sister died in a convent. But it's her voice that I hear, and I don't know what to, thank you, but I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, does my smoking still bother you?
No, it only reminds me.
You want one? I'd love one.
But no, thank you.
I tried to stop smoking. I did. I mean, it's years ago, the beginning of the scare. The only thing was I had no idea how many cigarettes I smoked then, but I did know that I used 1 book of matches a day, so I came up with this ingenious plan. Cutting back on matches. First a half a book, then a quarter of a book, doing just 2 or 3 a day. And look at me now. I can't sit through a meal without a cigarette. I can't go to weddings or funerals, plays, concerts. But I got it down. I could go 14 hours on 1 match. It was remarkable. Do you think that the saints would have smoked had tobacco been popular at the time?
Undoubtedly. Oh, not the ascetics, of course. But, well, St. Thomas More.
Parliaments. Ooh.
St. Ignatius, I think, would smoke camel. And then stub them out on the soles of his feet. And, of course, all the apostles.
Your hand rolled.
Yep.
And St. Peter. The original Marlborough man.
And Mary Magdalene.
You've come a long
And St. Joan. St. Joan would chew mail pouch.
Well, what do you suppose are today's saints smoking?
Oh, there are no saints today. There are good people, yes, but extraordinarily good people. Those, I'm afraid, were sorely lacking.
You believe they ever really existed, those extraordinarily good people?
Yes, I do.
Would you like to become one?
To become? One is born a saint. Only no one is born a saint today. We've evolved too far. We're too complicated.
You can try, can't you, to be good?
Oh, yeah. But goodness has very little to do with it. Not all of the saints were good. In fact, most of them were a little crazy. But their hearts were with God, left in his hands at birth, trailing clouds of glory. But no more. We're born, we live, we die. Occasionally, One might appear among us still attached to God, but we cut that cord very quickly. No freaks here. We're all solid, sensible men and women, feet on the ground, money in the bank, trampling innocence underfoot, our minds dissected, our bodies cut open. There's no soul here. It must be a delusion. We look at the sky, there's no God up there, no heaven, no hell. Well, we're better off. It's less disease for one thing. There's no room for miracles. But oh my dear, I do miss the miracles.
Do you believe they really happened, the miracle?
Of course I do.
Oh.
I believe in the miracle of the loaves and fishes 2,000 years ago just as strongly as I would doubt it today. What we've gained in logic, we've lost in faith. We no longer have any sort of primitive wonder. Closest we come to a miracle today is in bed. And we give up everything for it, including those bits of light that might still, by the smallest chance, be clinging to our souls, reaching back to God.
The saints had lovers.
Oh, yes, the saints had lovers, but then the cord was a rope, and now it's a thread.
Do you believe that Agnes is still attached to God?
Listen to her singing.
Oh, yeah. Mm. Oh, yes. It's time to begin.
Begin what?
Hypnotism.
Oh,
Do you still disapprove?
would it stop you if I do?
Nope.
May I be present?
Yes, of course.
Then let's begin.
The hypnosis took weeks to achieve, not minutes. 1 hour a day. Spaced between a kleptomaniac and an exhibitionist, between lunch and dinner, between Phil Donahue and Dan Rather. Sleepless nights, endless weekends. And my memories, they come only too easily. Sometimes they won't even let me finish a sentence. They just come galloping through non-stop. But I know if I could just finish the thought, they'd go
I'm
away.
frightened.
Don't be. You must remember, I cannot make you say or do anything you do not wish to say or do. Sit back, relax. I want you to imagine you're listening to a chorus of angels, and their music is so beautiful and so real you can touch it. It surrounds you like a warm and comfortable pool of water. And the water's so warm you barely know it's there. All the muscles in your body are melting into the pool. The water's just under your chin. But you must remember, this water is music. Even if you were to become submerged in it, you could still breathe freely and deeply. The water covers your mouth, your nose, your eyes. Close your eyes, Agnes. Thank you. When I count to 3, you will wake up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Who am I?
Dr. Livingston,
And why am I here?
to help me.
And would you like to tell me why you're here?
Because I'm in trouble.
What kind of trouble? Agnes, what kind of trouble?
I'm frightened.
Of what?
Of telling you.
It's easy. It's only a breath with sound. Say it. What kind of trouble?
I had a baby.
How did you have a baby?
It came out of me.
Did you know it was going to come out?
Yes.
Did you want it to come out?
No.
Why?
Because I was afraid.
Why were you afraid?
Because I wasn't worthy.
Would you be a mother?
Yes.
Why?
May I open my eyes now?
Not yet. Very soon, but not yet. How did the baby get into you?
It grew.
And what made it grow? Do you know?
Yes.
Would you like to tell me?
No.
Did you know from the beginning you were going to have a baby?
Yes.
How did you know?
I just knew.
What did you do about it?
I drank lots of milk.
Why?
Because that's good for babies.
And you wanted the baby to be healthy.
Yes.
Why didn't you go to a doctor?
And nobody would believe me.
That you were having a baby?
No, not that.
Agnes, what wouldn't they believe? It's all right. Relax. I'm here. It's all right. It's all right. Did anyone else know about the baby?
Yes.
Who?
I don't want to tell you.
Well, did you tell this other person, or did this other person guess?
She guessed.
One of your fellow sisters?
Yes.
Agnes, would she be angry with you if you told me her name?
She made me promise not to.
All right, Agnes, in a moment I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. When I do, I want you to see your room in the convent as it was on a night about 4 months ago. It was the night you were very, very sick, about 6
I'm
o'clock.
scared.
Sorry, just tell me what you did on this night before you went to bed.
I ate.
What did you have for dinner?
Fish and Brussels sprouts.
You don't like Brussels sprouts.
I hate them.
What else did you have for dinner?
A little coffee and some sherbet for dessert. That was special.
And then?
Then we got up and cleared the table, and then we went to chapel for Vespers.
Yes?
I left early because I wasn't feeling very well.
What was wrong?
Just tired. I had my milk and then
Who
I
gave
went
you
to
your
bed.
milk?
Sister Margaret, I think.
Agnes, was it Sister Margaret who knew about the baby? Let's go to your room. Let's go to your room. Right?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Open your eyes. And just tell me what you see.
In my bed.
What else?
A chair.
Where?
Right here.
Anything else?
A crucifix.
Above the bed.
Yes.
Anything else? What is it, Agnes? What do you see? Is it something different?
Yes.
Something not normally in the room?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a waste paper basket.
Do you know who put it there?
No.
Why do you think it's there?
For me to get sick in.
Are you ill?
Yes.
What do you feel?
A pain in my stomach. Oh, God. I feel as if I have eaten glass.
What do you do? What do you do?
I have to throw up. I can't. Oh, God, no! God, it's glass. One of the sisters has fed me glass.
Which one?
I don't know which one. They're all jealous, that's why.
Oh, of what?
Of me. Oh, God, oh, God. Oh, God, look, water. It's all water.
Why doesn't anyone come?
Because they can't hear me.
Why not?
Because they're all in Vespers.
Can't you get them?
No, I can't. That's clear on the other side of the building. No, please, I don't want this to happen.
Where are you?
I'm on the bed. Oh, God, no, oh, my God, no, God.
What is it? What do you see?
Get away from me.
Oh.
Go away, I don't want you.
Agnes, is there someone in the room with you?
No, don't touch me, please. Please don't touch me. I don't want to have this baby now. I don't want it. Why are you making me do this?
Agnes, no one here is going to touch you. This
You're
is...
touching me.
Oh, stop her. David! David!
It's not my fault, Bobby. Oh, it's a mistake, Bobby.
It's all right. It's Dr. Livingston. I'm here. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Breathe. Breathe. Agnes. How do you feel?
I'm frightened.
God, yes. It's hard enough to go through it once, isn't it?
Yes.
Agnes, do you remember what just happened?
Yes.
Well, that's good. Oh, yes, that's good. Now, do you feel well enough to stand?
Yes.
Slowly. All right? Brave girl. Thank you. Thank you. You may go.
Formed your opinion about her, haven't you?
She is a very disturbed young woman, but I don't think that's all there is to it.
Your job is done.
As far as the court is concerned, yes. But personally, I have so much more.
Personally? I don't think you were asked to become personally involved.
But I am.
And I'm asking you to get the hell out. If we want to hire a psychiatrist for Agnes, we'll find our own, thank you.
One that will ask the questions you want to ask.
One who will approach this matter with some objectivity and respect.
For you?
For Agnes.
You don't still believe my involvement is going to destroy some special aura about her?
She's a remarkable person, Doctor.
That doesn't make her a saint.
I never said that she was.
Ah, but it's what you believe, isn't it?
That she has been touched by God. Yes.
Then prove it. She sings. Is that unique? And she hallucinates. She bleeds spontaneously. She stops eating. Is any of that supposed to convince me she shouldn't be touched? You give me a miracle, nothing less. I'll leave her be.
The father.
All right. Who is he?
Why must he be anybody?
You're as crazy as the rest of your family.
I don't know if it's true. I only think it might be possible.
How?
I don't know.
Do you think a big white dove came flying through the window?
No, I don't believe that.
It'd be pretty scary, wouldn't it? Second coming stopped by hysterical nun?
No. No, this is not the second coming, Doctor.
Just
Don't
said there was no
misunderstand.
father. You just
I said if, and I mean if. If this is true, then it's nothing more than a slightly miraculous scientific event.
Nothing more. You don't expect me to believe garbage like this?
You can believe whatever you like. I only told you because you asked for a miracle.
If it is a miracle of science, there is a reasonable explanation.
A miracle is an event without an explanation. You see, that's why people like you fail to believe. You demand an explanation. If you don't get one, you create one.
Mother, what the hell are you talking about?
Unanswered questions, tiny discrepancies in what people like you tell us is the way of the world.
This is insane. This is insane.
The mind is a remarkable thing, Doctor. You know that as well as I do. People bend spoons. They stop watches. Send archers, split arrows down the middle, one after the other. We haven't begun to explore the mind's possibilities. If she's capable of putting a hole in her hand without benefit of a nail, Why can't she split a tiny cell within her womb?
Hysterical parthenogenesis, is that what you mean?
Partheno what?
The ability of the female in some lower life forms to reproduce alone.
I can't pretend to understand it biologically.
If a frog can do it, why not Agnes?
2,000 years ago, some people believe a man was born without a father. Now, no intelligent person today accepts that without question. You want answers? Yes. That's the nature of science. But look at the answers we provide. An angel came to the woman in a shaft of light, or hysterical parthenogenesis. If those are the answers are crazy. If those are the answers, no wonder people like you don't believe in miracles.
The virgin birth was a lie told to a cuckolded husband by a frightened wife.
Now that's a plausible explanation. And that's what you're looking for, right? Plausibility? But I believe it's also in the nature of science to wonder. And we can wonder only if we're willing to question without finding all the answers.
But we can find them.
We can look for them. There's a difference. There was no man in the convent on that night. There was no way for any man to get in or out.
So you are telling me that God did it?
No, that's as much as saying that Father Marshall did it. I'm saying that God permitted it.
How?
You'll never know the answer to everything, Doctor. 1 and 1 is 2, yes, but that leads to 4, and then to 8, and soon to infinity. The wonder of science is not in the answers it provides, but in the questions it uncovers. For every miracle it finally explains, 10,000 more miracles come into being.
I thought you didn't believe in miracles today.
But I want to believe. I want the opportunity to believe. God, I want the choice to believe.
But what you are choosing to believe is a lie because you can't face the fact. She was raped or seduced, or she did the seducing.
She is an innocent.
She's not an enigma. Everything Agnes has done is explainable by modern psychiatry. She is an hysteric. She was molested as a child. She had an alcoholic mother, no father. She was locked in that house until she was 17 and in a convent until she was 21. My God, look, it's 1, 2, 3. It's right down the line.
Is that what you believe? That she's the sum of her psychological parts?
That's what I have to believe.
Then why are you so obsessed with her? You're losing sleep thinking about her all the time, bent on saving her. Why? That's a question, no answer needed. The symptoms are very familiar, I know. I'm an expert on the disease. We're in this together. You and I.
Oh, no. You believe that God permitted her.
Possibly.
Possibly permitted her to have a child.
Not divine.
Not divine, just a child. Without benefit of man.
That's what I want to believe, yes.
And without proof.
Definitely without proof. There's no infallible proof for virginity. Only an absence of proof against it.
Then how do you explain the bloody sheets on the night of the conception? And why did the baby die?
I don't know.
Do you think perhaps God made a mistake and was trying to...
don't be absurd.
Is this entire thing a hoax? It's all a cover-up to lead me down the garden.
Why would I want to do that?
This is murder we're talking about.
Murder?
But you believe Agnes is innocent. I believe Agnes is innocent, too, of this crime. Like you, I have no proof. But I'm looking for it, and if it's there, so help me God, I'll find it.
Don't try to turn this into some kind of murder mystery, Doctor.
I'm the least bit concerned with what she just told us. There was another person in that
I'm
room.
concerned for her health and her safety.
All right, Mother, who was that person? Was it you?
If you persist in believing this is a case of murder, then it's the district attorney you must consult, not me. And definitely not Agnes.
Where are you going?
To the court. To have you taken off the case.
Because I'm getting too close to the truth.
Doctor, I pray that
Agnes
someday
is innocent,
you
isn't
may
she?
see my position.
Isn't she?
Goodbye, Doctor. And as for the miracle you wanted, it has happened. It's a very small one. But you'll notice it soon enough.
You were fighting.
Just come here. Agnes, has Mother Miriam ever threatened you in any way?
No.
Or frightened you?
Why are you asking me that?
I think she may know something about the man that was in the room.
Coming,
with you.
Mother! I won't see you again, will I?
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Agnes, I swear it. Honey, do you know who was in the room with you on that night?
Yes?
And for the love of God, tell me who it was.
It was my mother.
Agnes!
Goodbye.
That night, I dreamt that I was a midwife in this small private hospital in a faraway land. I was all dressed in white, and the room was all white. But there was this window in the room, and there were miles of mountains covered with snow outside. And on this table beneath me lay this woman prepared for a cesarean. And the woman began to scream, and I knew that I would have to cut the baby out of her. So I slipped the knife into her belly, and I reached in up to my wrist. And I felt this tiny hand grab a hold of my finger and begin to pull. But then the woman's hands pressed down on my head, and the little creature inside it drew me in. I mean, up to my elbows, up to my shoulders, up to my neck. But when I opened my mouth to scream, I woke up. My sheets were covered with blood. It was my blood. My rather sporadic menstrual cycle had ceased altogether 3 years before. But on this night, it started again. What would I have done with a child? Nothing. Nothing. But the following day, I asked for and received an order from the court returning Agnes to my care. And I was so sure I was right. And as a doctor, I should have known better. I should have known better. But as a person, I'm not made of granite. I'm made of flesh. This is it. The unfinished thought, the last reel. No alternate in sight.
Well, you won, haven't you?
Not at all, not yet.
You've decided to take her
I
apart.
decided to hypnotize her again.
Hasn't she had enough?
There are a few questions I would like to ask you.
I'm all ears.
Mother, I didn't get to ask you before because you so cleverly steered me away from
My
them.
God, but you're
You're
vindictive.
hiding something from me, and I've got to know the truth.
Then ask.
When Agnes was carrying the child, did she ever say anything at all to you about not feeling well?
Yes, she did.
And you did not send her to a doctor,
She wouldn't go.
wouldn't she?
No, she was afraid.
Afraid of what? That he would find out something? Did she
If
tell
you
you?
continue to persecute me,
I'm
I
not
can't.
persecuting you. I'm asking you a
I am a
question.
nun, and you hate
Did
nuns.
you know that Agnes was pregnant?
Yes.
Why didn't you send her to a doctor?
It was too late.
What do you mean?
I didn't guess it until
Until when? Mother, please don't waste tears on me now. Until when?
it was too late.
All right, too late for what? An abortion?
Oh, don't be absurd.
Too late for what?
I don't know. Too late to stop it.
The baby?
The scandal. It was too late to stop it. But I had to try. I had to keep it quiet. I made her promise not to tell anyone. I had to have time to think.
And you didn't get it, did you?
No, that night when she was sick, I knew
the time had run out, so you went to her room to help with the birth.
She didn't want help.
You wanted that baby out of there as quickly as possible?
That's a lie.
You hid the waste paper basket in her room?
No, I didn't hide it. I put it there for the blood and the dirty sheets.
And the baby?
No.
You knotted the cord around its neck.
I only wanted her to have it when no one was around. Then I would have taken the baby to a hospital and left it with them. But there was so much blood that I panicked.
Before or after you killed the child?
I left it with her. I went for help.
Is there a doubt that's what she'll say?
Then she's a goddamn liar. All right. Let's finish this once and for all.
Hello, Agnes.
Hello.
I have some more questions I'd like to ask you. Is that all right?
Yes.
And I would like to hypnotize you again. Is that all right, too?
Yes.
You're going to enter the pool again. Only this time. This time, I want you to imagine that there are holes all through your body and the warm water is pouring through those holes. And it's so warm and clean, like prayer. And it's filling you up. It's behind your eyes, and your eyes are so heavy and so sleepy. Close your eyes, Agnes. When I count to 3, you will wake up. Who am I?
Dr. Livingston.
And who is here with me?
Mother Miriam Ruth.
Now, Agnes, I'm going to ask you a few questions, but this time, I want you to keep your eyes closed, all right?
Yes.
I want you to remember, if you can, a night about a year ago. It was a Saturday night, a night one of the sisters in the convent died.
That was Sister Paul.
The night Sister Paul died. Do you remember?
Yes.
What's wrong?
I liked Sister Paul.
All right, Agnes, just tell us what happened that night.
She sent me to bed early.
Who?
Mother.
Did you go to bed?
Yes.
All right, Agnes, now go to your room in the convent. Keep your eyes closed. What happens there?
I wake up.
What time is it?
I don't know. It's still dark.
Do you see anything?
No. Not at first. But
What?
someone is in the room.
Are you frightened?
Yes.
What do you do?
Who is it? Who's there? Is it you? But I am afraid. Yes. Yes, I do. But why me? No, wait. Please, wait. I want to see you!
Agnes! Agnes! All right. What is it? What do you see? What?
A flower. All waxy and white. And there's a drop of blood sinking into the petals and flowing through the veins. A tiny halo. A million of halos dividing and dividing, and feathers of stars just falling and falling into the iris of God's eye. Oh my God. He sees me. Oh, it is so lovely. It's so blue and yellow and green leaves and brown blood. No, red. It's his blood. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding.
Oh, great God!
Oh God, I have to clean this up. It's on my hands and it's on my legs. It's on the sheets. Oh, please help me clean up the sheets. Oh, it won't come out. The blood won't come out.
Agnes!
Let go of me.
Agnes, please!
You wanted this to happen, didn't you? You prayed for this to happen,
No,
didn't you? Get away from me. I don't want you anymore. I wish you were dead.
We had nothing to do with the man in your room.
I wish you were all
You understand me?
dead. Let go.
He did a very bad thing to you.
Don't touch
He
me.
hurt you and he frightened you, but it's not your fault.
Mommy.
It's his fault.
Mommy's
But you've
fault.
got to tell me who he is.
It's your fault. It's all your fault.
Agnes, who was in that room?
I hate him.
Of course you do. Who is it?
I hate him for what he did to me.
Yes.
For what he made me go through.
Oh.
I hate him.
Agnes, who did this to you?
God. God did it to me. It was God. And now I'm burning in hell because I hate him.
No, you will not burn in hell. It is all right to hate him.
That's enough for today. Wake her up.
No.
She's tired. She's not well. I'm taking her home.
She does not belong to you anymore.
She belongs to God.
She belongs to me. She's staying here.
You can't do this.
Agnes, what happened to the baby?
She doesn't remember.
And Agnes,
She
what-
doesn't
what
remember.
happened to the baby?
They threw it
Now,
away.
after the birth.
It was dead.
Don't do this to her.
Agnes, it was alive, wasn't
I
it?
don't remember.
Please.
It was alive, wasn't
Don't do this to me.
it? Wasn't it?
Yes.
What happened?
I don't want to remember.
You do, don't you?
Yes.
Well, Mother Miriam is in the room with you.
Yes.
She takes the baby in her arms.
Yes.
And you saw it all, didn't you?
Yes.
What did she do with the baby? Agnes, what did she do?
She left me alone with that little thing. And I looked at it and I thought, this is a mistake. But it's my mistake, not Mummy's. It's God's mistake. And I thought I can save her and I can give her back to God.
What did you do?
I put her to sleep.
How?
I tied the cord around her neck, wrapped her up in the bloody sheets, and stuffed her in the trash can.
No. One, two, three. Agnes! Oh, Mother God!
You were right. She remembered. And all the while I thought she was some unconscious innocent. Thank you, Dr. Livingston. We need people like you to destroy all the lies that ignorant folk like myself pretend to believe. But I'll never forgive you for what you've taken away. You should have died, not your sister. You.
Why are you crying? No, but I believe I do. No. anymore. No, Mommy. I don't want to go with you. Just stop pulling me. God, your hands are hot. No, don't touch me like that. God, Mommy, don't burn me. Don't burn me. I stood in the window of my room every night for a week. And one night I heard the most beautiful voice imaginable. It came from the middle of the wheat field beyond my room. And when I looked, I saw the moon just shining down on him. And for 6 nights, he sang to me songs I had never heard. And on the 7th night, he came to my room and opened his wings and lay on top of me. And all the while he sang, Charlie's neat and Charlie's sweet and Charlie, he's a dandy every time. Over the hills to Charlie. Over the hills and through the trees to bake a cake for Charlie. Charlie's neat, Charlie's sweet, Charlie, he's a dandy.
Every time he goes to town, he gets his girls some candy. Yes, he gets his girls. I don't know the truth behind that song. Oh, yes. Yes. Perhaps it was a song of seduction and the father was a field hand. But perhaps, it was just a lullaby remembered from many years before. And the father was hope, love, desire, a belief in miracles. I don't know what I believe anymore. I never saw them again. The following day, I removed myself from the case. Mother Miriam threw Agnes on the mercy of the court, and she was sent to a hospital where she stopped singing and eating, and where she died. Why? Why was a child molested and a baby killed and a mind destroyed? Was it to the simple end that not 2 hours ago this doubting, menstruating, non-smoking psychiatrist made her confession? What kind of God would permit such a wonder? What has she to come trampling through this well-ordered existence? I want a reason! I want a reason. I believe she was blessed. I miss her. And I hope, oh God, I hope she's left something, just some little part of herself with me. Now that would be miracle enough, wouldn't it?